was time to do one of Lylene's bucket list items, Egypt. It included multiple pyramids, temples, and museums all up and down Egypt. Going during a war didn't bring many challenges, but some of those who were on this tour decided not to come. Their loss. We had no issues. We flew from Tampa to Newark, then Newark to Heathrow, and then finally Heathrow to Cairo, which took almost a day in total.
The Marriott Mina House, where we stayed in Cairo, overlooking the Giza Plateau and the Great Pyramids, was originally built in 1869 as a hunting lodge. It has since been transformed into a luxury hotel. It has hosted many famous people, and in 1977 hosted the preliminary talks which led to the Camp David's Accords.
After our morning meet and greet, we headed off to see some of Egypt's oldest pyramids.
One of the most distinctive things about Wahidi's tomb is how many times his wife was depicted, and she was always carrying a lotus flower. We went to the Imhotep Museum, and one of the things I liked best was the alabaster jars. They were almost as tall as me and so thin you could see through them. They said that they used some of them as lamps with candles inside.
Cairo is a tri-city complex of about 30 million people, and if there's a traffic light anywhere in that city, I didn't see it. Roundabouts and U-turns are how people make lefts. The traffic really did move pretty smoothly, even if it was 3, 4, 5 lanes on a 3-lane highway. In most states in America, the solid and dashed lines are a guide. In Florida, They're just a suggestion, but in Cairo, they're just a decoration.
Transported in time, we travel back to the black land known as Kemet. 21 of us made the journey to the manor house where we met. Nothing would stop us on this path that we had chosen. Ancient Egypt awaited us that in time had been frozen. Side by side we stood in amazement of the tombs and temples. We walked together with the pharaohs that made us tremble. Up through Khufu's pyramid, we all made the great climb, sharing this moment together in a trip of a lifetime. We saw the sunrise, we saw the sunset, we sailed down the Nile that we will never forget. Who would have imagined or begin to think that for a moment we all stood together between the paws of the great Sphinx? The Ankh stood for life, the Eye of Horus for protection. We saw the giants on the shore at the temples of Abu Simbel, and the golden mask in Tutankhamun's collection. We saw the sunrise, we saw the sunset, we sailed down the Nile that we will never forget. Who would have imagined or begin to think that for a moment we all stood together between the paws of the great Sphinx?
Two of the places we went was the Alabaster Museum and the Papyrus Museum, where they showed us how they made the alabaster jars and the papyrus. It was really interesting.
While there were dozens of various tour groups throughout our journey, I was amazed on how many different languages were spoken. This was truly a worldwide tourism mecca.
We met as strangers, ready with our outfits and hats. From Alabama to California and more locations than that. Pennsylvania stories, Colorado and Oregon mountains, Florida tans. Ohio, Texas, North Carolina, Philadelphia accents with travel plans. Then off we flew to the middle of the east, where the sunset welcome and the sights never ceased. Cairo to Luxor, a long day, no rest, but somehow we laughed and made it through our test. $1, $1. The vendors would cry, our umbrellas flipped over as our ship cruised by. Car horns singing in a wild symphony, no lanes, no lights, just pure Egypt energy. Yeah. Just pure Egypt energy. Catherine's feeding every dog in sight, like here's another snack, it'll be alright. Dust storm rolled in at the dig one day. We survived with masks and made our way. The guide would whisper straight into our ears, through those whisperers for all of us to hear. We sat in the same bus seats every time, like a sign by fate or some travel design. $1, $1. You hear it again as we try to sneak by, but get caught every now and then. in the Nubian village. We were taught how to speak, it was a lot of fun, but to me it all sounded Greek. All sounded Greek. Egyptian night costume party in Galabea's clothes, with our crazy late night dancing, putting on a show. Marty wrapped up Mary tight like a mummy. It was a blast to watch and really quite funny. Back home they have birds and YouTube fame. Marty and Mary's Adventures is the name, while Melissa's free spirit led her wherever she goes, and Sergio was always ready to help. Everyone knows Ramadan ended, celebrations began. Music and joy all across the land. From the Nile shoreline, kids wave with glee as we sailed by, waving like one big family. Some folks realized, wait, you live near me? Such a small world, it all must agree. Early mornings, sleepy eyes, long bus rides with half-dream sighs. But oh, the food, we ate like kings and queens on the cruise ship, and in fine restaurants with the finest cuisines. And the pyramids kept its secrets untold. Aliens, maybe, who will ever know? $1, $1, forever they'll say, with stories on papyrus that won't fade away. Names carved in stone, with memories held tight. Egypt brought strangers together to be friends for life. To be friends for life. $1, $1.
الثلاثة كلامها عسلة أي كدولي سير بيجو أرسكت فجي عندما هندا عندما هندا أنت موش موش موش
Sands of time whisper low, secrets buried long ago. Golden sun on shifting hue, beneath the silent silver moon. Oh, ancient desert, hear my call. Your spirits rise and empires fall. A timeless story in the stone. The desert queen upon her throne.
Lylene chose Archeological Paths after a long investigation. She chose wisely. Their staff and speakers were second to none. They took good care of us from the moment we stepped off the plane in Cairo to getting us on our way back home.
The food was beyond compare. The buffets were huge, with tables for each course. Bread, hummus, baba ganoush, then starches, then entrees, then multiple tables for dessert. By the end of the trip, we had a new appreciation for Mediterranean cuisine and about 5 pounds.
The entire trip was first-class accommodations. We were pampered with luxury throughout. As many times as we have cruised before, we have never been in a luxurious 2-room suite. Being in a hotel next to the pyramids or on the Nile was just fantastic.
The first thing we did when we checked into the Four Seasons was try to go use the hot tub. What we didn't know was that there was separate hot tubs, one for men, one for women, forgetting that it was a Muslim country.